During my pregnancy, I was scolded by the whole family just for drinking a bottle of juice because I was thirsty. My son pointed at my nose and wailed, "Why did you drink it? That was my last bottle." My mother-in-law looked at me with dissatisfaction. "You're always lazy and gluttonous, and now you're even stealing the child's drink. What a fat pig." My husband snatched the juice from my hand and threw it on the ground. "You only know how to drink. What will the child drink now? How can you be so selfish as a mother?" I looked at this whole family, each with a bottle of juice in their hand, and felt a chill in my heart. "If that's the case, then let's get a divorce." Curran furrowed his brows. "Are you crazy? Throwing a tantrum over something so small? Besides, you're an adult, yet you're fighting your son over a drink? Have you no shame?" I ignored him and went back to the room to start packing their things. "This house was bought before we got married, so you and your mom can pack up and leave." Curran looked at me in disbelief. He set down the empty juice box and kept up his argument with me. "Shirley, is this really necessary? I'm just trying to teach you a small lesson, okay? Besides, I didn't say anything wrong. There was only one bottle left. You drank it, and now Alvin has nothing. You are a mother now. How can you be so selfish?" He glared at me like I wasn't his wife, but his enemy. I looked coldly at the man before me. I'd been with him for 10 years, and I took great care of his family. I couldn't believe the thanks I got was getting scolded for drinking a juice box. I'd gotten a bonus of $5,000, so I took the whole family out shopping. We spent an hour in the store, and each of them bought everything they wanted. Although I didn't buy anything for myself, seeing the smiles on their faces, I was content. Alvin was overjoyed to get the toy he'd always wanted, and when we got home, he happily took out a few juice boxes. "This one's for Grandma. She's aged, and I should be respectful to her. This one's for Dad. Dad works so hard every day, and Grandma said I should be grateful to him." There were 2 bottles left, and Alvin took one for himself, but didn't offer me one. I thought he'd just forgotten. I was thirsty, too, so I grabbed one and drank it. At that time, I had no clue that my simple action would provoke such an uproar among the family. "We have 4 juice boxes here. One went to you, one to your mom, and one to Alvin. So, why can't I have one? I'm parched. I work all day, and when I come home, I take care of everything in the family. Now I can't even have a drink? I'm your wife, not the maid of the house. I'm drinking it. What's the big deal?" Penny frowned and, holding Alvin in her arms, began to criticize me. "Look at your mom. She's always stealing things. She even took your last juice box. Your mom's a terrible person. She doesn't love you at all." Penny always did that. Every time Alvin came home from school, Penny would jump at the chance to badmouth me in front of him. I couldn't understand why she would do that. After all, I was Alvin's mother, and she could gain nothing by slandering me in front of Alvin. I couldn't understand why she always tried to undermine our relationship. I simply couldn't fathom the reasoning behind her actions. I rushed up, pulling Alvin to me and covering his ears. "Penny, how much longer are you going to keep this up? I've had enough of you. You just want our family to fall apart, don't you? Why do you always talk badly about me in front of Alvin? What's wrong with you? Do you find satisfaction in speaking ill of others? If you keep doing this, I will give you a good lesson." She screamed in fear and tried to break free, but she couldn't. "You little ***ch, what are you doing? I'm your mother-in-law." Curran stepped forward to stop me, but I dodged him. I grabbed Penny's face and shoved it hard against the wall. "You can learn how to stop running your mouth now, can't you? How's that? Now you can control yourself, right?" Penny was too scared to speak, just glaring at me. Alvin, who had been drinking his juice, suddenly rushed forward. Ignoring that I was pregnant, he pushed me away and stood in front of Penny to protect her. He glared at me fiercely. "You are a bad woman. Why are you hitting my grandma?" I didn't expect Alvin to push me suddenly. I stumbled and almost lost my balance. Penny seized the moment, clutching her face and starting to cry loudly. "Alvin, look at what your mom did. My face hurts so much. Your mom's a terrible woman." She fell on the floor, refusing to get up, throwing herself into a tantrum. Curran stood by, fanning the flames. "Alvin, your mom is awful. Not only did she drink your juice, but now she's treating your grandma like this. She's a horrible woman." Hearing that, Alvin went wild. He shouted and charged toward me, headbutting my stomach with all his strength. "Bad mom! Bad mom! Don't you dare bully my grandma, you horrible woman! I don't want you as my mom." I didn't have time to dodge, and his hard head collided with my stomach, sending a sharp pain through my body. My vision blurred, and I felt a hot stream flowing down my legs. I looked down and saw blood. I clutched my stomach in agony, my face contorted in pain. "Quick, take me to the hospital." Curran hesitated for a moment, then took out his phone to call for an ambulance, but Penny stopped him. Penny sneered at me, spitting on the floor. "Curran, don't let this woman fool you. She was strong when she hit me earlier. How could she suddenly need an ambulance?" Curran put his phone away, then looked at me with disdain. "My mom's right. You're lazy, and I've been spoiling you." Even Alvin, my own son, standing beside me, looked at me as if I were a stranger. It felt like a knife tearing through my heart. This was the family I'd cared for over the past 10 years. And in the end, they treated me like an outsider. I felt as though my heart had been torn open. I couldn't hear anything anymore. The pain was so intense I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I was lying in a hospital bed, but it felt like something was missing inside me. Penny was sitting next to me. When she saw I was awake, she rolled her eyes. "Such a drama queen. You lost the baby. Curran frowned. The doctor said your miscarriage was because you got upset and stressed out. Was it really necessary to make such a big deal over a juice box? I lay in the hospital bed, staring coldly at the man who was rambling in front of me. I felt that, for the first time, I saw what kind of person he really was. It was necessary, Curran. I married you, and I'm part of this family. When I got my bonus, the first thing I thought of was buying things for all of you. But what about you? Because I wanted to drink a juice box worth less than $2, you all scolded me. My voice was loud, and the man in the bed next to me turned to look, throwing Curran a disgusted glance. What's the world coming to? Your wife just wants a drink, and you yell at her? Don't be sad, girl. I've got some fresh fruit from abroad. Here, take it. I looked at the fresh fruit the man offered, and my heart ached. I didn't cry when Curran, Penny, and Alvin scolded me for drinking a juice box. I didn't cry when I found out I lost my second baby. But now, when a stranger showed me kindness, I couldn't hold back the tears. They slowly slid down my face. Curran's face turned ugly. He felt his pride as a man had been wounded. Clenching his teeth, he glared at me, his face twisted in displeasure as he said, "Shirley, are you really that greedy? Anything someone hands you, you just take it? I'm not saying you can't have something, and I'm not some stingy man. If you want it, I'll buy it for you. Why are you throwing a tantrum over something so small?" He acted all righteous as if the man who had just stopped me from drinking the juice box wasn't him. Fine, then you can pay for this fruit, I challenged him. Curran's expression soured as he quickly glanced at the price tag of the fruit. Hey, didn't this guy just say he'd give it to you? Giving him money would ruin his kind gesture, he defended himself. I scoffed. Curran, I'm giving you 1 week to pack up your things and move out with your mother. I'll send you the divorce papers later. At the mention of divorce again, Curran lost it completely. He slammed his hands on the table, then covered his head, looking utterly tormented. Why, Shirley? Why do you have to say something like this? Do you have any idea how much pressure I'm under at work every day? Then, when I come home, I have to take care of my mom, you, and Alvin. You think that $2 drink is nothing, but do you know how hard I have to work to earn those $2? I couldn't hold back any longer. If I remember correctly, most of the household expenses are covered by me. I've never seen a cent from your $5,000 salary. You say earning $2 is hard, but you haven't earned it for me, have you? Maybe you should ask yourself why, after all your hard work, you can't even spare $2 to buy your wife a drink. Hearing me say this in front of everyone, he completely snapped. In a fit of rage, he raised his hand as if about to slap me. The man beside me couldn't stand it anymore. He grabbed Curran's arm tightly, twisting it painfully. Penny couldn't bear to see her beloved son treated like that. She rushed over, trying to pry the man's hand off while shouting, "Oh my, you filthy woman. You actually teamed up with a stranger to bully your own husband. I knew it. You're a bad woman, always trying to seduce men." Alvin, who had been quiet until now, suddenly rushed over. Without caring that I was lying in bed, he hit me hard. "You're a bad woman," he shouted. "My grandma was right. You're a bad person, a bad person." I stared at him coldly. He was my own son. Just a moment ago, when his father was yelling at me, Alvin said nothing. Now, he was stepping up to defend them. I was utterly disappointed in him. Curran stood up, glaring at me. "Shirley, you really have grown some guts. Don't come crying to me later," he threatened.